Hello, good morning. This is Kenya News Alert and I'm your host House of Zulfa. Karibu sana kwenye show yetu ya Morning Tea. Okay, so leo niko peke yangu. Kidogo guest leo amenipotea. Okay, so mtazamaji, tuko pale live YouTube and you can comment, you can subscribe, you can share. Okay, so I want this to be like a very engaging conversation. Sababu ile show ambao tunaongelelea vitu ambavyo vinadhiri saa hii, things that are happening right now. Okay, and we're going to start with kuchambua gazeti. Tutachambua gazeti, tutajua tuko na gazeti la kwanza ni Taifa Leo, and then the other one is The Standard. Yeah, so let us see what are the headlines hapa. Okay, kusomea vidokezo. Magavana wasema wamelazimishwa vifaa vya matibabu vinavyomeza mabilioni ya SHIF. Alafu wanasema mwanachuo Mtanzania alijua Nairobi na kujirusha. Then kuna wataalamu wa ODM walioingia serikalini sasa waabudu Ruto, you know. But the headline yenye iko sana is Ruto and Uhuru are talking politics. Okay, so let us get into that right now and then tuendelee ku discuss as you join. Let me open it. So comment pale, you know, and tell me what do you think. What was in the question of today is, what do you think is happening? Yes, what do you think is happening when Ruto and Uhuru wameamua kumit after all that time? Okay, okay, so inasema Uhuru meeting jolts political landscape, fuels 2027 election talk. Sawa, pale mbele I remember kuna wakati ambao tulikuwa tumongelelea when I had a guest, and then we talked about how Ruto went to Kalonzo's daughter's wedding, and people were commenting and saying that obviously ajaenda bure, obviously ameenda sababu kuna it's a political marriage. Yes, and then kidogo tukasikia pia ameenda, as in President Ruto ameenda kumuona Uhuru after a very long time, and people were asking what is happening. And then kidogo umbea, you know, the juice from there was at the discussion, because the discussion was ash. Yeah, so tukaambiwa they were discussing about the state of Kenya, you know. So mtazamaji wangu, I want you to comment pale YouTube, utuambie what do you feel about the state of Kenya right now, and when they meet, is it for Kenya or is it for their own political gain? Yes, so let me read from, so anasema Uhuru Ruto meeting jolts political landscape fuels 2027 election. Yes, wanasema Deputy President Githuri Kindiki meets with the president, the former president, and Ruto. Okay, so a surprise meeting between President William Ruto and his predecessor Uhuru Kenyatta on Monday has sent shockwaves across political landscape as Kenyans wait with bated breath to witness the implications ahead in the general elections. Unajua, it is a confusing thing, yeah, because the ngoja nitoe glasses, you know, tuonane face to face. So tuliona Ruto before even he was the president of Kenya, kulikuwa kuna issues between yeye and the president, the former president, that is Mr. Uhuru. And then for some time ukabaki wamekosana sijui nini, Uhuru ameacha kumsupport kuhusu election ambayo iliyopita and stuff. Yes, and now kukakuwa na bad blood for some time, like for like 3 years, sindio? And then, you know, as we said, everything that happens, everything that a politician anafanya, everything wanafanya is always, there's a reason why they are doing it. There's a reason why they are doing it. Hawafanya tu hivyo bure bure, wanafanya kwa sababu ya shughuli fulani. Okay, so tukaona after some time Ruto, as in the president Ruto, kukuwa na issues, akam impeach Mr. nani? Rigathi Gachagua, and there was a tense moment in Kenya, sindio? And then that's when we come to see Uhuru amejitokeza. Tunamwona ameenda kuvisit huko kwa Kalonzo, and then kidogo kidogo anaanza kuongea na nani? Na Ruto. Now as Kenyans unasikia, we are waiting, we don't know what is happening, because at a moment we are like, okay, maybe he's going to support now Kalonzo, okay? And now maybe sasa Vesa meet na Ruto na wanakuwa na ash meetings, and we don't know what is being discussed there, then maybe, you know, maybe they're going watashikana tena. So we don't know what is going to happen in 2027. At this point, we're like, what is happening? You know? So let me continue. Wanasema talks of possible reapproachment between Ruto and Uhuru have not only thrown a wrench in the political works, but also thrust into the 4 questions about the political fate of Mount Kenya region and future of the opposition party Azimio coalition, in which Uhuru sits as the council chairperson. And yeah, by the way, that happened. After some time ilibaki Uhuru ndo amekuwa nani? Amekuwa chairperson wa Azimio party. So tell me, this is the coalition party, sindio? And then there's a inaitwa Jubilee ambayo ni Mr. President, sindio? Na wakati ambapo Uhuru alienda kukaa pale kando na akakuwa chairman wa the other party, it meant that now these people are wasikizani, okay? And sasa ni hawa sasa again tumewaona wako pamoja. What does it mean? What does it mean? Okay, as we think about that, I'm going to continue reading. Wanasema during the meeting held in Uhuru's Ichwari's backyard, the two leaders are said to have conferred on the need to address various issues such as fostering national unity, addressing pressing economic challenges, and advancing Kenya's development goals. Now, unajua, what I can say is, okay, we are tense because we don't know what this means for the political and the election that is coming, that is 3 years from now, 2027. Actually, hata mwaka ni kama ambao ushaisha. So, anajua Kenya tunarukiaga sana. Kwanza in fact tunapenda kurukia vitu like just hivyo tu, you know, tukiona huyu amemit na huyu we are talking. So sababu wanasema they were discussing about Kenya because maybe the president Ruto aliona amefanya vitu fulani and he was like, hey, let me go back, you know, venye Kenya mali imefika, I need to go back to the president, to the former president, a person who ran Kenya for 10 years, anipe advice, tuongee, unaona, tuelewane. Unajua, okay, I usually say to my friends, sometimes as a grown up you go back to your mom and you're asking, mom, how does this go? How do we do this? How do we do this? You know, after some time ya kujifanya unaweza and stuff, sindio? So maybe he was like, Kenya haiko poa, and let me go back to Uhuru. Let me go back to the man who ran this country for like 10 years. Tukae chini to discuss. Tukae chini anipe wosia, sindio? Aniambie, what am I going to do about this? Did I do something wrong when I impeached Gachagua? You know, when I'm not listening to the youth and people are like hating on me and people wanakata uongozi wangu, sindio? And so I think we addressed the pressing economic challenges and advancing Kenya's development goals, sindio? Some of the leaders appreciated the need to achieve broader and more inclusive political consensus in the governance of our country to accelerate inclusive growth and fulfill the national development agenda. A statement from status released immediately after the meeting. Okay, so kuna issue ambayo tulikuwa tunadiscuss hapa juzi, sijui kama kuna, if you were live with us, tulikuwa tunasema Kenya sisi imekuwa ni kama is like only 2 tribes speak for the entire Kenya. Only 2 tribes speak for us. 2 tribe ni gani? That is Murima and the lake people, you know. So it's either Wajaka ama Wagikuyu, si ndio? Those are the people that speak only. Those are the people that wako like, okay, ukitaka kukua president, ukitaka kuwa deputy president, ukitaka kuvai for anything, jishikanishe na Azimio ama Jubilee. You know, and you know these 2 represent only two major tribes here, si ndio? So maybe, and you know people now are speaking. Tukasema pia kuna watu pia wameanza kujitokeza. Watu wameanza kukataa, wameanza kusema tunataka Matiang'i, tunataka Morara Kebaso, tunataka Wamalo, tunataka Kalonzo, tunataka, you know, we want other tribes because since Kenya became Kenya, since Kenya ilipata uhuru, tumekuwa kuwa na only 2 types of presidents, yeah. Tumekuwa na the Kalenjins but not so much, and then Wagikuyu, but the tribes that speaks are only 2, si ndio? So wanasema the story that came from that meeting is what that they were trying to achieve broader and more inclusive political census, and that is what we want as a Kenyan, because tulisema we are 43 tribes in Kenya, si ndio? And 43 tribes, it can be that only 2 tribes ndo zinafanya nini? Zina to lead, only 2 tribes ndo zinaongelea everything, you know. So maybe they go sit down and they're like, okay, maybe it's now time hizo tribes zingine they wakule hiyo kiki ambayo iko hapo, si ndio? So tunasema wasema a separate statement from the former heirs of state also indicated that some people in the position had faced harassment, calling for the cession of the same state, further emphasizing the need for vibrant opposition, transparency, and the need to fulfill the Reconciliate and Independent Electoral Boundaries Commission (IEBC). On his part, Ruto agreed to engage all stakeholders to remove unnecessary tension and propose a reconciliatory way forward. Sawa? Okay, maybe he's trying to reconcile with the Murima. You know, after each saga ya Kashagwa atoke, after all that, tumekuwa tense because tulikuwa tunasema don't hate the game. You know, don't hate the players, hate the game. Sindio? Because that is the game yenye ambayo inaendelea. So that is that. Tumesema tunatambua gazeti. So that is that. Ukitaka kuendelea na hiyo, you shall go and get your copy of the Standard. Sindio? Now let us go to something else, yeah? Kuna Uhuru Ruto talks over strategic moves of sign of weakness in Kenya Kwanza. I think that is bado more about everything that they were discussing, because that is the hot topic right now. Tumesema as a Kenyan people tumetensa to what is going on. These people ni kama vile tusema Mike so wili wakienda kupatana, you know, and uko hapo uko like, okay, what is going to happen? You know, it's either they fight or they reconcile, you know? Sindio? So mostly what the Standard is talking about is more and more about what they were speaking, because as a Kenyan people we want to know what they were talking about. Sindio? Aya, bado kwa the Standard wanasema kuna issue ambayo inasema stop killing our girls and women. Sindio? Protesters demand. Unajua for some time, and it is a really sad thing, and I remember some weeks ago we had like a whole discussion and we were like, stop the femicide. Stop femicide. Because femicide imekuwa ni kama like now a story ambayo ni ya kawaida saa hii. Like says femicide yani kidogo yani hey Jesus. I don't know what is happening. And we discussed this and we were like, why are people killing each other? I mean, the moment that you know, unapata most of the people are young people killing each other, or people in toxic marriages killing each other, and the people who are getting killed most are young ladies. And I remember we discussed and we talked about it. And it was a really sad thing. Nasemaga, I remember I was talking to my cousin, and she's like an elder cousin of mine, and she was like, Zulfa ikifika place, upate, you know, unaona hapa there's no peace. Hakuna haja uendelee kukaa hapo. Hakuna haja uendelee like fight for it. You just get out. You just go. Because unajua the moment unaendelea kukaa in a very toxic marriage, a toxic relationship, that is not good. So the standard is talking about, let us go deeper in that and know what they were talking about, because there was demonstrations in Nairobi. So demonstrators flooded Nairobi streets yesterday during the final days of activism campaign to end gender-based violence. The protests, which came at a time of increased violence against women, were staged in various parts of the country and called for equal rights for women in Kenya. During demonstrations, several protesters were arrested after clashing with police officers who lobbed tear gas. Kenya. So bado hata mkienda kuprotest bado for femicide bado tunamwagiwa tear gas. So let us get into that, yeah. Tunachambua tu tukipitia as we get to the main topic. So wanasema the 16th day of activism against gender violence came to an end ironically as police unleashed terror on activists in Nairobi amid calls on the government to ensure perpetrators of violence are punished. Score of rights of activists, among them Amnesty International Kenya Executive Director Irungu Houghton, was tear-gassed and arrested for participating in a peaceful anti-femicide march in the city. Enyewe seriously. Tunaambia police nini? Police ukisoma kwenye social studies ama history, I don't know what they call it right now, yeah. Wanasema police are here to enforce the laws, and the laws which are made by the MPs, the parliament, so the government. Sindio? So guys, seriously, as a government we are failing when people are there, you know, protesting about women being killed, our sisters, our mothers, our wives, our friends being killed, na mnakuja kuturushia tear gas. Seriously. That is so sad, because let me tell you, mwaka imekuwa tu people being killed, and these are ladies being killed. I remember one of the most saddest story nilisikia ni ile story ambayo kuna mdada ambaye yeye na mtoto wake mdogo waliuliwa. And it was really sad because huyu mwanamke alikuwa ametoka from a toxic marriage na akapata mtu ambaye anamwambia atamsaidia, and they were killed. Na more than 200 women have been killed this year. So it is so sad when we are protesting this, and then police mnakuja seriously. Mnakuja kumwaga tear gas kwa watu ambao wana protest kukataa our moms, our sisters. It's a sad thing, yeah. So let us see. So when you want to know more of that story, you shall go to the standards and know more of that story. Sindio? What else? Tunachambua tu hapo juu. Okay. So let us go to Taifa Leo. Now Taifa Leo wanasema uchaguzi mashinani wapasua chungwa. Sindio? Wanasema inadaiwa washindi wa kura za mchujo mashinani walichaguliwa na wanasiasa ili kufanikisha malengo yao binafsi. So apparently kulikuwa na election ambayo ilikuwa inaendelea mashinani, you know, for mchujo. And so let us get into that. Sindio? Okay. Wanasema ODM ilianza uchaguzi wake November 27, huku ikitangaza baadaye kuwa shughuli hiyo ilifaulu. Sindio? Wanasema hisia mseto zimeibuka kuhusiana na uchaguzi wa majuzi. huku baadhi ya wanachama wakihisi kudanganywa baada ya matokeo kutangazwa. So apparently ODM was having, walikuwa nafanya some elections hapo ndani. You know, people, I don't know any, these are the question that I was asking. It is only 2 years tangu to kuwe na the new president, and right now tushaanza campaign. Lakini Kenya na politics tushaanza campaign, hata atujapeana, you know, hata hey, it's like fiti. You know, I was saying ni kama watu wako na bucket list, like I want to be a president, I want to be something, I want to do this. So yani the moment eti huyu ashakuwa iko like okay, huyu ashakuwa sasa, now it is me, because sasa na nyinyi mnafanya eti elections hapo mkijiprepare for the next election, and bado it is only 2 years since Kenya. So inasema ingawa chama hicho kilitangaza kuwa shughuli hiyo ilifanikiwa, baadhi ya wanachama Homa Bay wana wasiwasi kuhusu matokeo. Inadaiwa washindi wa shughuli hiyo walichaguliwa na wanasiasa ili kutumiza maslahi yao. Yani everywhere is corruption. In Kenya, yani when it comes to politics ni corruption tu. Ni corruption. Unaika mtu ambaye unajua kiingia huko ndani atafanya kitu yenye unataka, and then us as Kenyans tunabaki the same, tunabaki majenzia tuna kazi, tunabaki hospitali zetu hazina madawa, tunabaki madaktari hawalipwa, tunabaki I heard that pia eti teachers ambao wamesomea huku wanaambiwa watapelekwa kusomesha majuu, tunabaki hakuna employment, because when we elect people, when these people are elect each other, wanaekana watu ambao wanajuana huko ndani. So sad. So wanasema maafisa wa chama wakiongozwa na mwenyekiti wa Homa Bay Town Magharibi Bwana Oracha Ochuodo na mwenzake wa Homa Bay Town Mashariki Bwana William Oyongo wametoa wito kwa viongozi wa ODM kufutilia mbali matokeo ya uchaguzi huo, wakisema kuna maswali mengi kuhusu namna washindi walivyopata viti. I will not get into that. So kama unataka kujua more about uchaguzi wa ODM, utaenda kutafuta Taifa Leo. Okay, na bado iko online by the way. Sawa? Okay, so then there is now the head topic ambayo inaendelea. Nasema shirika laanika uozo wa uongo na hongo wa utawala wa Rais Ruto. Sawa So sema utawala wa miaka miwili wa Rais Ruto umepokea alama duni na shutuma kali kwa kukita mfumo wa ufisadi na kuepuka adhabu ili kujinusuru kisiasa. Ripoti ya hivi punde zaidi ya shirika la Africa Center of Open Governance Africog inaonyesha kwamba Wakenya wengi wanaamini kuwa Kenya inaelekea pabaya chini ya Kenya kwanza. You know, that is a question that imekuwa ikiendelea. In fact, that is a thing. You know, maana nasikia topic yetu inasema Uhuru and Ruto talk politics, because it is a tense moment. As a Kenyan people, we are tense. Kumekuwa na deaths. First of all, kumekuwa na deaths. Tumekuwa na life yetu imepanda juu, yani life yetu, our life imepanda juu, imepanda huko, yani hatuweza afford vitu fulani. Promises that were told, they are not being met, and it's like now our cries are falling into deaf ears. Yeah. So people are tense about this entire thing. Sawa. So wataalamu wanaongea kwenye Taifa Leo wanasema ripoti ya Africog yatoa taswira mbaya ya hali ya taifa na kushtumu serikali kwa kuwezesha mfumo unawafumainisha wachache. But that is true, because it's like now the government is for some people. Kuna watu ambao wanasema, the small group of people wanasema it is good, it is well, serikali inafanya everything, we are good. And then tunajiuliza, now those people ambao wanasema hivyo, and then we saw like where all those young people, all those Gen Zs ambao walienda kuandamana. Do you think, you know, never in history we ever seen such young people wake up to go kuandamana hiyo design? Atujawai. And why are they doing that? And it is a topic that here in Kenya News Alert we have been talking about. We have been really talking about. Because as the tomorrow people, hatuna makazi. Life imekuwa ngumu, hatu afford. And the promise that we were told is go to school, study, earn your degree, kutakuwa na jobs. Mimi as William Ruto nita provide jobs. My government will do this. My government will do this. And now ni kama ushaona mtu anakuambia kitu alafu after some time ana behave ni kama si alisema hiyo stuff, you know? Unapata mtu ana behave ni kama ambaye si alisema stuff. Because ukiona mpaka Africa, and Africa is like a whole African thing. They are watching us. They are watching us and they see that we are not okay. We are not okay. The government is for some people and the rest nyinyi endeleeni tu kuongea. So Taifa Leo naendelea kusemaje? Inasema utawala wa miaka miwili wa Rais William Ruto umepokea alama duni na shutuma kali kwa kukita mfumo wa ufisadi na kuepusha adhabu ili kujinusuru kisiasa. Ripoti ya hivi punde zaidi ya shirika la Africa Center Open Governance. Now this African Center Governance is like now all countries kama you go there, you mnajisailisha huko, and then now they do a research in each and every country, see how you're governing. That's what it's called, governance. How are you governing your country? Sawa, umepewa mamlaka juzi, inaenda kuwa sawa ama iko sawa? Watu wako wako aje, you know, ama iko aje? And wameobserve, wameona Kenya iko poa. Kenya iko poa. Sawa, wanasema wa Kenya wanaamini kuwa Kenya inaelekea pabaya chini ya serikali ya Dr. Ruto ya Kenya Kwanza. Ripoti hiyo iliyotolewa Jumatatu inatoa taswira mbaya ya hali ya taifa na kushtumu utawala wa siasa kwa kuwezesha mfumo mbovu unaofunaisha wachache. Ikifafanua tathmini yake mbaya, ripoti hiyo ilitaja kashfa kama vile mikataba ya mabilioni ya adani iliyofutwa, sakata ya ugizaji wa mafuta ya kupikia mchele na mbolea ya ruzuku kama baadhi ya sakata ambazo zimekuwa nembo ya utawala wa Kenya Kwanza. Ripoti hiyo inashtumu rais na kwa kuendeleza sio na siasa za kujikinga kupitia upendeleo, kandarasi za kutiliwa shaka na uteuzi. So these people have, when they start doing their thing, they go deep. They go deep. Wanakuja kwa ground pole 2 years wana observe. 2 years wana observe tu pole 2 years wana observe tu. And they are like, you know what? This is not good. Kenya kilimo ilikuwa the first thing. Ilibaki because I remember they were saying tunapeana fertilizer ambazo ni za free and sijui nini. And then fertilizer ikabaki zimeanza kuuzwa. As youth hatuna kazi. Why is that? The government said that we are going to do this, and they are not doing. And even outsiders are observing this. So I'm going to go, tutafika hapo alafu tutaingia kwenye kuangalia comments, and then we shall continue as we talk about this. So my viewers, what do you think about the state of Kenya right now? What do you think? Tunaelekea wapi? Tunafanya nini? And what can we do as the people of tomorrow? Because yesterday I was saying Kenya is our first love. Na tukiachilia na tuseme eti my dears, we shall lose our country. Tutakuja tupate na tushauzwa jamani. So you guys, anyone that is joining right now, welcome. We are going to go for a short break and then we're going to come back and continue to tackle, and I'll be reading your comments. So comment pale, like, subscribe. Sawa, we're going to go on a short break and we're going to come back. Okay, welcome back. This is Kenya News Alert and this is Morning Tea. I am your host, House of Zulfa. Karibu. So hapo the first segment of the show tulikuwa tunachambua magazeti. If you want to know deeper about what is going on kwa vitu different, you know, other apart from our topic today, nenda kanunue gazeti. Kuna Taifa Leo, kuna The Star, kuna The Standard, you know. But now let us get deeper into, because all Kenyans want to know what was the meeting about. What was the meeting about? What did they talk about? Now that was the meeting about the meeting of Ruto and Uhuru. What did they talk about? Because when your meeting ilibaki eti ili happen to randomly. I don't know if that is true or whatever, but the thing is, as Kenyans tumekuwa tukitaka kujua. As obviously unajua kwenye news kuna wambea ambao wanasema stuff, so we are going to get deeper into that. Nilikuwa nimeanza kidogo tu pale kwenye kuchambua nini. Now let us get to know what was the meeting about. Apparently, according to what people are saying, according to information ambayo tunapata. Sawa So inabaki Uhuru talks strategic moves or sign of weakness in Kenya Kwanza. You understand? Wow, as in, because obviously nimeshina nikiuliza swali na nimeuliza for like 3 days ama 4 days right now. Unaona? Like, you guys just meet randomly. After juzi mtuonyesha ni kama mfanya kitu ingine. After juzi kama tuone ni kama sasa, because Azimio, Kalonzo ni wa Azimio, na Uhuru tumesema ameshakuwa ndo chairman wa Azimio, because after the breakup between Ruto and Uhuru, and when he retired, the former president alienda akakuwa chairperson wa Azimio coalition. Sindio? Okay. So these people have not been seen eye to eye, according to the media, according to everything that we've been seeing, you know. And then all of a sudden we see them have a meeting ambayo hatukuwa tunajua about, because kwa tunasema alifika huko na civilian cars, hata kuwa na siren and stuff. That was the president. Alienda kwa Uhuru kama hatujui, but unajua obviously paparazzi were there following and stuff. Sindio? So let us get into it na tujue ni nini ndio walikuwa wanaongelea kwa ndani, and what have we been told. Ni nini? Sababu as Kenyans tumekuwa tukiuliza ni nini? What are you talking about? What was it about? Yeah? So inabaki they were talking about national unity. Sawa? National unity. Addressing economic challenges. Advancing, those are the 3 things that they were talking about, yeah? Advancing Kenya development goals. Tuanze kwa national unity. For some time now, na nimesoma tu sahi, by the way, actually nimesoma sahi kwa Taifa Leo, nimesoma tukasema hata watu wa nje, Africa is this group, this body that researches and follows the leaders and the governance of the leaders. Sawa? And when we observe Kenya haijakuwa na one thing is national unity. So apparently your national unity ndio kitu walikuwa na discuss humo ndani ambapo hatukujua. You know, it is what we've been told. We have not been united for some time. And in Kenya imekuwa a tense moment. We don't even know what is going to happen next. You know, we don't even know who is who. Najua tumezoeaga huko kitambo, tunajua huyu ni wa Raila na huyu ni wa Central. We used to know that. But now at this moment to go to evil. First of all, and I'll continue to insist this, yeah. Kumekuwa na ukabila mwingi sana, because juzi address issue ya mtu fulani alikuwa ni Zaluo, alikuwa natusi people from the Murima. You see that is not national unity. That is tribalism. Sawa. So they say this is what they were talking about, that we need to be united as a country. And what I can say is, kama wameka their differences aside, wamekuwa too mature grown-ups, because to assume maybe Uhuru ni baba na Ruto ni mama, ama vice versa, and as the Kenyan people we are the children. Sawa, na mama na baba wamekuwa kipigana, and pia hata families their mama na baba zimekuwa zikipigana. So unapata as children tumekuwa tumetense. As children tumekuwa hatujui what is going on, mara this mara that, mara this mara that, na bado life yetu inaendelea ikikuwa so hard. Hakuna makazi, hakuna food for life, yani you know it is so hard. Okay, so maybe walikuja wakakuwa like, let us be mature people. You are the former president and I'm the president right now, and we all of us, we are a Kenyan people, and we need to sit down and address these issues. We need to come, as Uhuru anasema, we need to calm down and address these things, because kwanza wakati nimesha nikiinsist point, kwanza vitu zilikaa vibaya wakati ambapo Mr. Gachagua ali get impeached, because Gachagua was represented Murima, of which nimesha nikisema bado is one of the tribes ambazo politically, you know, ziko major, is like a whole tycoon thing. Sawa, so kapata kumekuwa na a rift sasa, a rift ya Wakale, Wagikuyu, wa nini, and then hao watu wengine ambao sasa ni sisi other tribes. So maybe let us put aside kusema eti limit for political landscapes ya ku elect next 2027, and maybe they decided to be like, let us be mature people, let us try to sit down, let us put our minds together and try to come up with a solution. Wakasema economic challenges. Seriously, hata mwenye kwa sasa unajua when kitambo, like for example when 1000 used to be 1000, 500 used to be 500, and food was affordable, and electricity was affordable, and water was affordable. And right now tuko tu ni memes tu. Unajua one thing with us Kenyans is we survive through humor. Like our pain, we put it through humor. Utakuwa like wako serious ama wako serious. Crazy memes zimekuwa ziki go around za Kasongo, whatever, you know, because we are there right now. So maybe they sat down and they were like, let us discuss. Enyewe ulikosea pale na mimi nikosea pale, tuweke kando to discuss. Sawa? Okay, wakasema advancing Kenya's development goals. What are Kenya's development goals? One thing, vitu kama infrastructure. Because infrastructure it's a major, you know, infrastructure is everything. Ulikuwa sema business unaambiwa that ukienda kwa kampuni mahali lazima ujue the infrastructure in that place. How will your goods come from this place to the other place? How will it happen? Infrastructure, yani, isn't one of the bodies that help us build a country. And when they're developed, we are good. Na tumekuwa ile issue ambayo ilikuwa inabaki that our national airport ilikuwa iuzwe. And that is one form of infrastructure ambayo hiyo airports ambayo ni national yetu ndio ina export na ku import our goods and our food, and then from there we are getting revenue, and now revenue inasaidia vitu fulani huko. Kuna vitu kama education, kuna vitu kama technology, na technology inakuwa a lot of needs different fields. Yes, so maybe they sat down, they were like, let us do this, let us try and solve this stuff, sindio? So let us continue to know, to kujua what they were talking about, sindio? Wanasema Uhuru Ruto meeting, noting that it heralded a new beginning for the country, and should the electorate allow a new political dawn for the currently disgranted Mount Kenya region, following the unceremoniously ouster of the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. I have talked about that right now. We have talked about it right now. So through a statement, Kuria, that is, Kuria is a Senate, is a senior Senate House advisor. I talk about Moses Kuria. Anasema, through a statement, Kuria lauded a duo for their seemingly inevitable closing ranks for putting the national above the interest of self. Yes. In fact, what I want to say is, a Kenyan people, maybe we should try and be like positive. Maybe because we are trying to build like a new Kenya. We are trying, the moment that youth walienda pale wakaandamana na wakasema we are going to fight for the right for our country. We are going to fight for our rights. That was a new dawn in Kenya. So maybe maybe, as I've been saying, maybe these people sat down and they were like, tuache easy feelings zetu za wewe ulikosa kunisupport mwaka fulani na wewe ulifanya nini, and then let us calm down and sit down as two, former president and the right now president, the current president, and let us discuss about the things that are happening. Okay, if nilifanya makosa kufanya hivyo, naona people are tuera, yeah, nilimwimpeach nini, na sasa Murime imejam, tutafanya aje sasa? Kenya imetense because sasa hatujui what is going to happen, si ndio? So anasema, closing ranks and forgiving each other is much easier than having to deal with the aftermath of a failed nation state. In this regard, I wish to thank President Kenyatta and President Ruto for choosing nation over personal or sectarian consideration, coming hot on heels of the information of the broad-based government by President Ruto and Prime Minister Raila Odinga. It is another affirmation of Kenya's resilience, stubbornly rising to occasion when everyone expects us to jump to their beast. That is what I've been saying, by the way. Actually, that is because I'm a very positive person. And I really urge us to quit to evil. Okay, video obviously is mbaya. But as Kenyans, you know, we try to see things differently. So maybe these two people, when mention insist, na Kuria amesema, I'll repeat again, Moses Kuria, he is a senior state house advisor. Amesema, these people, tunajua walikosana, walifanya nini, but they had for Kenya, for the sake of Kenya. Now that is what is called, Kenya is our first love. So you must put your first love mbele. Ukieka yourself over your first love, obviously unaharibu kila kitu. So these two people were like, okay, tuweke our issues kando and let us address the state right now of Kenya. What are we going to do? How are we going to solve everything? Okay, and that is really mature. That is really mature. Mimi nafikiria Ruto, okay sawa, tunasema government yake imekuwa ikitupeleka pabaya na Kenya na pabaya sababu amekuwa hapo ndani for those 2 years. Maybe amekaa you know, when you akajirudisha nyuma. Akwa like, okay, maybe nimefanya mistakes. Now let me calm down. Let me let down my ego and try to resonate with my people, because these are the people who elected me. These are the people who, sindio? Okay, so I'm going to read the comments pale. Wasema kuna Plainsol Felix, wasema show iko top. Naona kuna Masi Njogu, anasema show iko poa. Aya, naona kuna anaitwa Irene Michelle, anasema, let me try to see it. Anasema, it is really mature of them to put themselves down and choose Kenya over everything. But that is true. We should choose Kenya always. Because nilikuwa nasema juzi, we are Kenyan before even your tribe. The first thing you're Kenyan before usema wewe ni Mtaita, wewe ni Mgiriama, wewe ni Pokomo. You're Kenyan first. So we should fight for this country before we lose it to the Wachinku and those people who want to buy our ports and who think that Kenya is for sale because of the issues that are going right now, because hatuna national unity, because economy yetu iko vibaya kidogo. Aya. Na mwana pia pale kuna anaitwa Ndizi, anasema hi, this is a really good show. Anasema this is really mature for them. Actually hivyo ikakuwa kila leaders wako hivyo inaweza kuwa poa. Okay. What I can say is, and the guest that was here yesterday alisema, we need to pray for the country. Like, God save Kenya. May God save the president. May God save the citizens of Kenya. Maybe we should follow the examples of these presidents, the former presidents, the former president and the current president. Ukiona kidogo umefanya vitu vibaya, unajirudisha chini and you accept to be cancelled and you accept makosa yako, and you choose Kenya over yourself. Okay, let us continue. Wanasema, speaking to the widespread anger in Mount Kenya region emanating from the impeachment of Gachagua, and which has since thrown the vote-rich region into a political crisis. Student noted that there was a need for a strong political voice. To achieve this, the former cabinet secretary emphasized on bringing together all political parties with a footing in Mount Kenya under the former ruling of Jubilee Party, with former President Uhuru Kenyatta as his party leader. Anasema, quoted, anasema, the Mount Kenya region, like all other regions, deserve strong political voice. As I've said, and I will continue to say, Mount Kenya is like one of the biggest political and voter county. So when you lose it, it's like you're losing Kenya, one tribe. Na maybe after Ruto amekaa ameona sasa nimeharibu hii, after nitoe Gachagua ameenda pale sasa ameona maybe now Uhuru is going to be the spokesperson. We don't know what is going to happen next, but tuko hapa, we follow it. So guys, naona pale muda unatupa kisogo, but this thing that nimekuwa nikitaka kusema, tumesema jana kama mlikuwa na sisi live, tulikuwa kwenye mandhari ya Paradise Hub, where we went like an outdoor and we were doing agriculture and government and agriculture. What am I trying to say? Like, if you're out there and you're watching us and you want Kenya News Alert to advertise for you, anything at all, kuna namba ambayo iko pale kwenye screen yako, nenda kapiga ile namba, nenda ka text ile namba, and then you shall speak to our producers and our team will get back to you, and then now we can come to advertise for you. Sawa, I shall say it again. If kama uko na any advert unataka tukufanyie kama news, kama Kenya News Alerts, pale kuna namba ambayo unaweza chukua hiyo namba alafu ukampigia mkurugenzi wetu mkuu, and then we shall get back to you. Yes, and advertise your stuff. So I'm going to read the last comment and then we are going nitawaga. Asema anaitwa Irene Kereri, anasema it's a good show, nice seeing you. Sawa. So guys, today we've been talking about President Ruto and Uhuru talk. Na nimegusia pale what they were talking about. Nimegusia pale. But if you want to know more, you can buy the Standard and you can know more, because the whole thing, wameongelea a lot of things ambazo ziliongelewa huko. Sawa. But the thing is, let us continue to pray for Kenya, to pray for our leaders, man. Sawa. So this is Kenya News Alert. It has been the morning tea show, and I have been your host, House of Zulfa. Kwaheri.